Hello. Welcome, SpeedGaming 6, to Timespinner Randomizer Round 1. I believe this is the final match of Round 1?
Possibly.
I think this is the final match of Round 1.
And then we're going to have round 2 very quickly after this.
Yeah, Round 2 will begin at 9 p.m. Eastern tonight, so that'll be in about 3 hours. This seed will hopefully not even take 1 hour, but yeah. Very excited to get the first round over with in this multiple round tournament. It is double elimination, so whoever loses this is not out of the running yet. They've got another chance in the losers bracket to make it all the way through the finals. So good luck to both of these runners. Looks like we're still getting some minor setup stuff, but they have their
Starting very soon.
I'm sorry, what?
We should be starting very soon.
Should be starting very, very soon.
Forgive some of the audio quality on my side. We got informed a little late notice, and I am eating dinner.
You know what? I got this.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Okay.
What's our start? We have a Empire Orb start.
Okay.
So just a little bit about the. Oh my goodness, this start. A little bit about this game. It is a nice little Metroidvania for people who haven't tuned in for anything, any part of this tournament yet. Then what you don't know is that Empire Orb and Bombardment is probably one of the more powerful opening sets of weapons you can get. The Empire Orb is the single most powerful weapon, and Bombardment can do a lot of damage in the right hands.
Did you see that gear there? Man.
I just caught that gear there. So the end game of this randomizer is you need the true ending. And what that requires is the B key card, the D key card, and 3 gears, the Timespinner wheel, and the Timespinner spindle. Once you've got all of those items, you can finally proceed to the end game. Obviously, after beating some bosses and traveling quite far across this game's world. We just saw a C key card, not necessarily required, but it does open up a couple of things early. So we'll see how routing takes place in this seed. It looks like at the beginning the runners really don't have much of a choice except to go the same way, but as soon as we get a couple different items, we will definitely see some routing divergence. So right now, it looks like we are stuck with the C key card, and Crimdahl having the first real difficult part of this game, that one jump that is kind of like a... Oh dear, the stream is...
Bonsai said that he has to do this very briefly.
Okay.
And we'll probably be back very quick soon.
Okay, well, when we...
There it is.
Okay. Looks like we are... Yeah, they're resetting their connections. But all right. So as we're here, we have that
jump they were struggling with was like Lily says, requires coyote timing, where in platformers you can run off an edge and have like a brief moment before you actually start falling, and that's when you need to jump.
Yep. And when we get back into motion, it'll be interesting to see what items they've retrieved, and I will try and catch up the ramifications of all of those items. Okay, so it looks like we're up and running again. So we have the satellite currently fighting the first boss of this game, Boots. It's actually called the Feline Sentry, but it's called Boots, named after the cat that did the voice acting for that particular boss.
And he is a good boy.
So yeah, we have here Crimdahl a little bit ahead of Satellite, probably had a little bit better of a Boots fight while we weren't able to see. Cruising through a corridor that is not as easy as it looks, and heading into the library where we are probably going to get our first set of are access to the past, most probably. Either that or a double jump or some sort of vertical progression.
Something's got to get them out of the library.
Right. So there are two ways to get to the past. One way is by getting the pyramid keys, which allow you to use portals to go to any portal that you've seen, plus one additional one that they give you at the beginning of the randomizer. The other way is if you get the spindle and the wheel.
Oh, no.
We'll get to the A key card in a second.
Oh, no.
You'll get the spindle and the wheel, which will allow you to use the time spinner that is in the tower adjacent to the library to get to one specific part in the past. Now, they just picked up the A key card.
And double
and
jump.
the succubus hairpin.
Mm-hmm.
Succubus hairpin is your double jump in this game. It's the obligatory Metroidvania double jump. The A key card is a little more problematic because what that allows you to do is access one of the more difficult sections of the game, especially if you're at an early stage in the game. And with that double jump, it opens it up right away for you. So that may be a required most difficult part of the game. It's sealed caves. We call them Zarian caves, named after the boss that lives in those caves.
I do have one piece of good news about this seed, though, is that I didn't generate it this time.
No, this was our restreamer Bonsai Beer who generated this seed. He takes full credit for this Zarian cave dip, unless we have three more items that we can see with the double jump. One of which Crimdahl just acquired is the Shadow Seal, one of the more powerful items in this game, where if you equip that ring, you are doing more damage the lower your HP is. One of the more powerful rings. It allows you to just stack up the damage really fast. So we're going to have two more checks before these runners are forced to go into Zarian caves, which will be very dangerous. And we're down to one more check. Crimdahl gets the glass pumpkin, which is helpful if you're trying to stop time a lot. But you can't stop time until you get the time spinner wheel. So here we're going to check this skeleton. And it has a galaxy stone, which does literally nothing. And now the runners are going to be forced to go into the Zarian caves. As you can see, just a couple of shots of a spell, still not enough to take out the mushroom there. Crimdahl.
Very briefly, I want to mention Crimdahl's screen is cropped to the menu, which is actually smaller than the actual game. If we could get that fixed, I'm not sure if someone can fix that live.
True.
We're missing a little bit on the sides of Crimdahl's game. Anyway.
So these mushrooms, they spit out poison when you hit them, and if it touches you, you get poisoned. And also, every time you hit it, it spits out a little tiny mushroom. And if you touch one of those tiny mushrooms, it also poisons you. Also, these mushrooms, if you touch them, do a lot of damage. So this is just really not a great place to be when you're level 2, level 1, level 3. Crimdahl is going to be very careful not to get hit. Exactly why, right there. With a max HP of 130 something dealing over 60 damage to you is certainly going to make you backtrack and grab this save so you get refilled health. Of course, the one good side about this is, since it's such a late game area, every time they kill something, they're getting an immense amount of experience, which is going to better prepare them for basically the rest of this seed. You see Crimdahl just got to level up again. His max HP is now up to 220. And that's just going to keep climbing and climbing and climbing. Satellite switching over to Aura Serpent so he doesn't have to get close and bombardment the mushrooms. Unfortunately, that doesn't do as much damage, and it costs a lot more aura, so it's a little bit safer of a call. As you see the army of tiny mushrooms marching up on the side. They're about to turn back around and come right back at Satellite.
Aura Serpent hits more, so you get more little babies.
Yes. So Satellite deciding, you know what? We don't need no stinking save points. He is poisoned, so that is going to take down his life significantly over time. If he takes a hit here, oh boy, he's in trouble. Yep, and there he goes. That's a death. That is very frustrating.
Taking out those little babies with Crimdahl.
Yep.
Fun fact about those little babies, they were a nightmare to program, apparently.
It just occurred to me, Satellite had not saved at all.
No. That's rough setback.
This is very huge. So he's got to beat Boots again. He's got to go get that A card. He at least knows what chests have things, and he can skip anything that doesn't.
If he remembers.
But this is a huge gap to have to make up, especially against a runner like Crimdahl, which a lot of people wouldn't know. He's very good at this game. He just doesn't stream all that often. So kind of a wild card in this tournament.
Thank you, Bonsai. Fix the cropping.
Killing it. Shoutouts to Bonsai. So Crimdahl is slow going here. He's really trying to not take any damage. There's a save point that will be coming up that will mean he's in the clear, but he's got one more of those little vine dudes to get past. He's just going to go ahead and deboost past it. Falling on spikes does a lot less damage than the actual enemies. So if Crimdahl can get past these mushrooms, he'll be pretty much clear to get to a save point. I forgot about this last little vine guy. About these vines, you can attack the vine itself, but if you kill the vine before you kill the main monster that's attached to it, that monster comes off of the vine and floats slowly towards you while violently lashing its vines at you, and it still does all that damage.
Yeah, the equivalent monster in the past does not do that.
Correct, and we'll
That's
probably
the really
end up
nasty
seeing
one
those.
here.
And there's the pyramid key. Now here's the question: does Crimdahl back out? Yeah, look, no, it does not look like he's backing out. He's going to keep going through the Zarian caves at least long enough to grab the save, and he's just going to keep going.
I think that's what I would do. There's no warp shards yet. Can't use the quick travel to go back to the last place because they just got the pyramid keys. So warp shards will not work right now. So yeah, I would make the same call.
My guess is that this will be a divergence. I think when Satellite gets there, I think it may be that he feels desperate and thinks maybe Crimdahl won't go all the way into the caves. That is also a possibility. But I think Satellite, especially after taking that death, is more likely to just back out of the caves, say, you know what, I got my keys, I'm going to gamble that there's nothing else in here, and I'm just going to go about my life.
I have to comment, but with my mouth is full of food, but that movement Crimdahl did between the mushrooms was amazing.
Yep. Really, really good. Crimdahl finding a max health up. We're really looking to see if there's anything required in any of these checks that Crimdahl is doing. So far, nothing. There's only going to be, well, technically 2 more checks, but only one that Crimdahl's going to look at.
The other one is behind Zarian, and you definitely do not want to do Zarian right now.
Yeah, the other one is behind the hardest, I don't know, I would consider him the hardest boss in the game, even harder than the final boss.
I think so.
If you don't know what you're doing.
I feel like Zarian's telegraphing is harder to read than the final boss.
So here goes Sad on his second attempt into the sealed caves. Let's see if he goes with the Aura Serpent again, or if he's... Oh my goodness.
Oh no.
That is a Timespinner spindle that is required. It is one of the 5 pieces of the Timespinner. That is a big deal. Now, if Satellite backs out of Zarian Caves, he's going to have to do a lot of backtracking in order to get that spindle. Right now, you have to say Crimdahl has a colossal advantage.
Bonsai, what have you created? This is all Bonsai's fault.
Yep, and just as we expected, Crimdahl does a quick teleport out.
Mm-hmm.
Because he does not want to fight that boss that we were talking about.
Caves of Banishment teleport. Been seeing a lot of these.
So, this teleport takes you basically right to one of the required bosses in this game. But it is the third of the 3 required bosses to get to the end game in the present. So, Crimdahl opting not to come back because he knows he has a warp here, and he can always just warp back and kill it very easily when he's a higher level and he's got better gear. Taking a fight that potentially might take him 45 seconds to a minute, and turning it into a 20-second fight later could mean all the difference in a race. And he doesn't know that Satellite took that death. And there's another Timespinner gear.
This is a weird seed, man.
Very strange seed. And there's a gas mask from Nell. We'll get to that later. That gas mask might be important.
That's our first fire source, I think.
Yeah, I believe so. You need a fire source in this game because there are vines that you burn in the past, which is where Crimdahl is now. And then when you burn them in the past, they're gone in the present and allow you a path through the upper part of Lake Desolation, which is the starting area. And that's not available to you at the start of the seed.
Crimdahl also picked up a brooch. They change the look of Linnaeus. I'm blanking on words here, but
Yes,
makes her have a different outfit here.
Yeah, they give her a different outfit. You'll see Crimdahl just picked up a pendulum, which is a fun item to pick up after doing what he just did. Because what a pendulum does is when you equip it, it prevents you from being poisoned. Takes a lot of the danger out of the Zarian caves.
Also, we forgot to mention, Crimdahl did wisely, and I only say it in this circumstance, unequip Maeth, who is just so happy to help in the caves. But Maeth also causes poison clouds to happen when they try to attack the mushroom. They're helping. They're doing their best.
They're trying. They don't know any better.
They're a little baby.
And Sad is in a situation where he is trying to just regenerate his aura as best he can.
Now, what's
he
Sad
gets
gonna
his
do
pyramid
here?
keys. Now here's the move. Is he going back? He is going back.
Uh-huh.
Now this is dangerous. Oh, he's changing his mind. He's like, do I really want to go past all of those vines and all of those mushrooms again? Is that something I really want to do? And the answer is no. And guess what, Sat? You're making the absolute right decision. Crimdahl is going to be going over to the castle, which leads to the tower. And the castle and the tower both have one of the 3 required bosses to get out of the past. So Crimdahl taking the fire checks and putting them off in favor of doing things that he knows are definitely required. With the pyramid keys, it also opens up all kinds of portals for you to go revisit later. So backtracking isn't as painful, but the castle and the tower both have sections that are not great to have to backtrack through. So as it stands right now, Crimdahl has double jump, but he does not have time stop, and he does not have light wall or celestial sash. And those time stop and light wall and celestial sash would actually allow him to full clear the royal towers without having to come back. So if there's a routing divergence and Satellite gets that fire from the area just outside of these caves, then and he goes to do those fire checks where we have those vines that we talked about that you have to burn in the past. If there's like a celestial sash or a light wall in those, and those locations have something that's required, that could mean something. That could be a way for Satellite to actually make up this difference and catch up.
It's gonna be hard though. That was a nasty death.
It was a nasty death. He didn't grab the save on the way in. Lost a lot of progress.
Respectable. I can understand skipping a lot of saves, but I feel like if you have to go into Zarian caves that early, you gotta do a little safety save.
You have to do a safety save at that point. When you're getting two-shotted by everything in a cave, plus the poison, which you don't have any antidotes, like, it's just brutal. You really, really need to be careful there.
Crimdahl heading up to the twins without saving, because
He's got bombardment.
He's got bombardment. He's pretty confident in his levels. We're probably going to see the twins just sort of die before they can even do anything.
Yeah, we'll probably not even see this Golden Idol's Desperation attack.
Ran out of magic.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, and he's just going to take this damage because he has the Shadow Seal. We mentioned earlier, if you have the Shadow Seal equipped, you do more damage the more damage you've taken. Satellite did pick up that spindle, so he's saying, holy crap, I can't believe I almost didn't get that.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like we'll see if he decides to fight the Maw here.
Crimdahl's stream is struggling just a little bit, but it looks like no problem defeating the twins.
He is taking the save, and it freezes just as we're about to see whether he's going to take that jump over to fight the Maw.
Suspense! Both streams are a little chunky right now.
Okay,
Oh,
he
he
did
is!
fight the Maw. He's taken his bombardment right to the Maw. You can see he's doing damage in chunks as it freezes again.
We're just getting the highlights.
The Maw is not a difficult boss. The issue is the damage you're dealing is just not as much as you'd be dealing later. Mm-hmm. But this does prevent a small backtrack. Interestingly enough, Satellite does not have the gas mask. It'll be interesting to see if he goes to the refugee encampment and grabs that gas mask. And all things considered, with Bombardment and Empire Orb, that wasn't that long of a fight.
Mm-hmm. Just goes to show Empire Orb and Bombardment being just real good.
Really, really good. Crimdahl just made a stop at the shop there in the Royal Towers to buy some warp shards. Now, warp shards are the item that allow you to go and use the item to go to the last teleporter that you used. And the bird that is running that shop does not actually sell those warp shards until you have the pyramid keys. So there is another shop in the library where they started off this seed, but they couldn't buy those warp shards until they had the pyramid keys. And
fortunately, we won't be able to see Struggle Juggle yet. Because there's no time stop.
Yeah, that is one of the checks that will be orphaned here because Crimdahl doesn't have that secondary vertical movement. Obviously, he's hoping that it's nothing. It's only one check, and then there's, 3 more checks after that in this tower that are blocked by continued vertical, and he just got a Chaos Stole, which is a great item that opens up your statistics a lot, and is a rare drop.
Mm-hmm.
And you see here, Crimdahl using the Shadow Seal, running directly into this boss, Ilana, taking as much damage as he can, so he does more damage with the Empire Orb, which is a weapon that Ilana is already weak to.
Oh, okay!
Ooh, wow. The elevator keycard and the time spinner wheel. Now Crimdahl can stop time. It'll be interesting to see if he does the struggle juggle over the... He's not doing it. He's deciding, you know what, I'm abandoning that.
That's fair.
And interestingly... Or
we may see a struggle juggle finally.
We may see one. He might be doing it. I think he's gonna. So the struggle juggle is aptly named because it is a struggle to do. The juggle part of it, the juggle part of it is there's this large and in charge royal knight that you've got to juggle his movements in order to get him to float upwards. And you can see they have the glass pumpkin, so they have a lot of... Yep.
Oh my god.
My goodness.
If Lightwall and Sash are underwater, that's required struggle juggle.
That is true. They have a Maw teleport. Usually the water mask opens up the way to the Maw, but they have already beaten the Maw.
Yeah, but they do need Lightwall or Sash in order to finish the game.
Yes, so if they're both buried underwater, then that is a required struggle juggle.
Crimdahl has all the gears that either of them have found. They both have 2. You can see the tracker below their screens. You got 2 gears.
Yeah, gear 3 could also be underwater.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Sat has finished the Maw caves. Now he will probably dash left, take the free teleport, and he will get that gas mask, which is very important because he did kill the Maw. And after you kill the Maw, the present actually fills up with deadly gases.
Looks like Crimdahl did manage the second struggle juggle while the stream was frozen, but I don't see anything new on the tracker, so nothing important.
Okay. That's gear 3. Crimdahl didn't get that?
Where was it?
It was in the caves. Crimdahl went there, though. Didn't he?
Yeah.
Did he not pick up that chest?
Oh, Sat went
Oh,
into...
it's progressive gears. So Sat went left in the Maw Cave. So no, Crimdahl did not.
Right.
Crimdahl, he's fighting them all now. We'll see if he actually goes and backtracks through the cave like Satellite did. But that could be very huge.
Right, yeah.
And just as I had potentially predicted, Satellite is going left to do fire checks. Slight bummer here for Satellite because he does not have the water mask, so he won't be able to go underwater. But he can clear out the top, clear out all the vines, open up that track up on the above of Lake Desolation, get all of those checks there. Unfortunately, we already know that none of them have the Timespinner wheel, which is the last piece of the Timespinner that he's missing. However, they're still looking for the D card and the B card, both of which are required. So one of those
vertical.
could be there.
And if Sat gets vertical, that means that Struggle Juggle is moot point.
It's true. That also means Satellite's efforts to get that item are going to be a lot quicker. So that's just like another one of those little time saves that Sat might get over Crimdahl that's going to help him overcome that death. It's going to be tough. There's going to have to be a lot of really lucky routing here, but it's not impossible.
And Crimdahl has all the Timespinner pieces now.
Yep, there it is. Crimdahl did get the... he did backtrack through the Maw Caves to get that gear.
Not surprised.
Not surprised. It was the play, for sure. You don't want to abandon all of those checks in the Maw Cave. There's a lot of them.
Mm-hmm. Still nothing up along the top here, but that doesn't necessarily make this a wasted trip because there's also the equivalent path in the present that also has a bunch of checks that were behind those vines that you couldn't get through until you burned them in the past.
Yep. Crimdahl's just finishing up Maw Caves. He did get a free Warp Shard out of the Maw Caves, which is kind of nice. So he'll probably grab this chest, or he'll get a Fire Orb, which he didn't really need. Warp Shard out. I can imagine he's probably going to go do the fire checks now. So he'll be following in Sat's footsteps. So even if Satellite finds something that's really, really good, Crimdahl's about to get it right after him. And it's worth noting that Crimdahl has the water mask, so he'll be able to actually clear this area rather than just the top side.
Mm-hmm. And as we saw, the past top side didn't really have much.
Well, we don't know. There's one more check right behind the bird.
Didn't have much.
Nothing. Okay. Well, no, there's one more check here.
One more.
And had nothing. Okay.
Now we're going to see Sat check the present equivalent. Having the gas mask is very important because this is what happens after you kill the Maw. This sort of haziness you see over the screen is actually poison gas, and Lunaeus slowly suffocates, actually rather rapidly suffocates if you come here without the gas mask.
So there's no need to revisit the bottom half of this because they had to backtrack through the bottom half of it to get to Zarian Caves for their first dip.
Like Crimdahl is doing the burn the vines and then back out and head down.
That's the first pink.
Hmm.
So there is one check in the Royal Towers that requires you to have something pink. That's the Royal
Usually
Ring.
Doesn't have anything because it's just one check.
It's just one check, but you know, that's it's one check that could have something required. And honestly, at this point, neither of them have the B or the D card. So you're starting to think that maybe some weird check like that is finally going to have to pay off.
Yeah, because they can't get out of the library till they find the D card.
Correct. There's the tablet underwater.
Oof.
The tablet allows you to download items from computers.
DLC.
Yes.
And there's a whole bunch of downloadable checks in... Oh, there it is! Also underwater. So
the
yeah,
D card
that
is underwater.
I think that struggle juggle was required.
It very well may be.
Unless the verticality is somewhere else. But
It would have to be
we're-
behind pink at this point.
Yeah, we're running out of checks that were locked behind this. Man, that's so weird.
That is weird.
Oof.
The
Oof,
required
man.
struggle juggle.
I wonder if Sat will try it.
Well, if he doesn't, it's going to be a problem.
Mm-hmm. I know I wouldn't try it because I'm terrible at it.
I usually give it one good shot. But yeah, the way it's going right now, there's going to have to be something catastrophic for Crimdahl to not win this by about the length of time it took Satellite to catch up from his death.
Crimdahl did the bottom loop for the castle. Satellite has yet to go to the castle, I think.
Yep.
And he'll probably do the bottom loop as well.
Yeah.
It's a nice little circular loop with a save right at the end and quite a few checks. The enemies down there are not too hard, so it's usually a good idea.
Yeah, a little bit of tech that I like to do, since that loop really does kind of drop you off the place you started, and it's sort of close to a teleporter. If I have early pass, I actually like to go run the loop because I don't really have to backtrack much to get back to where I was. So I can snag all of the items that are in that castle loop and just go to the left without having to worry about retracking a lot of my steps.
Yeah, it's a nice, gentle little loop. It is a little hard to dodge the birds down there, but it also has little eggs that are very easy to dodge.
Yeah, Solstice, the seed sent them into Zarian Caves at level 2, and Sat did not do the safety save at the beginning of Caves and took a death, and so he was all the way back at the beginning.
Before even fighting Boots.
Yeah.
So Sat had to go all the way to the library and then all the way back.
Right. Light wall on Zarion and Sashin Pyramid. Yarno is really trying to curse the seed here.
I feel like it's already cursed with
I
that
don't know,
required
5
struggle
gears
juggle.
before 30 minutes doesn't seem too cursed to me. The V card behind the C tab, the C key card, interesting. The V key card doesn't give you much, but it does open up one door that has 3 checks behind it.
We have Crimdahl in the Varndegroth Tower. This place is a little nasty to route because it's kind of, vents and crawling around in a little bit of a maze and twisty. So, usually players will try to wait until they have the elevator keycard to route this area, just because it's so much easier to do so. And Crimdahl does have the elevator keycard, which makes it just that much easier.
Right, and he has the C card, which allows him to do the right side, and it'll also give him access to a part that you would only otherwise have access to if you had the B key card.
Yep.
So here we go. We're going to do a quick save scum with Crimdahl because he's going to be able to do the one check that he can do before fighting a boss, and if the check isn't any good, then he'll just save and quit.
Oh,
Ooh.
you need that. There's light wall.
That is potentially required.
Wow, depending on where Sash is. Yeah, you needed to do that struggle juggle to get that. Because D
key
was
card
underwater.
was underwater. So yeah, the struggle juggle is required to get that. So really, it's pink room to have the sash as the only way that struggle juggle won't be required.
Mm-hmm. And looks like we might see it on Sat's, because Sat does have pink, and he will be going by that area, provided he remembers to check it, because everyone forgets to check it because you never have pink when you're going by it. I agree with waffle soup, though, that I hate this seed.
I don't know. It's not that bad. It's interesting.
Fun.
It's different.
It's just... Oh, are we going to get... Yep.
Oh, we're going to get a check of spider hell. Look at these spiders. They're hellish. He's going to run intentionally into their laser a couple times because he has that shadow seal. Allows him to two-shot the spiders with the radiant orb. Makes kind of quick work out of an otherwise really crappy room. Those lasers, you can't deboost through them. They act as solid surfaces, so you actually have to kill all of those spiders to progress through that room.
A little nasty. And there's 2 rooms like that. One there and one in the lab. Crimdahl going back to the library.
Oh yeah, he's
checking the V card room.
He's got the V key card. He's going to do these 3 quick checks here.
Here comes Pink on satellite. No, it froze!
It froze, no!
We'll never know!
Well, if it's Sash, it'll show up on his tracker. It was... Oh, he's equipping the Royal... Oh, no, he's...
No,
apparently it was nothing.
It was nothing.
As is the usual. Crimdahl is banking that the B key card's going to be in the hangar.
Because sometimes it is.
Not a whole lot of places it could be. He did not do the underground lake.
Mm-hmm.
That is about the only other place it could be. Or did he do the above ground lake? The waterfall check where you fall into if you go into the past in vanilla?
I don't remember.
It's one of those weird things. We talk about it all the time. It's really hard to route that check in.
I think Satellite did and Crimdahl didn't. I think. Or maybe have them switched.
There's the Eternal Coat. It's the best armor in the game. Literally no reason to have anything else equipped. Crimdahl almost goes down there. Realizes
Everyone
he
does
not
that.
have the B card. There it is. Hangar B card.
That's the last check before needing it.
Oh, that's go mode.
Yep, that's go mode. Go mode at 35. You know, for an early Zarian Cave dip seed, 35 for go mode is about what I would expect. Because you kind of have to go real slow through those caves.
Yeah, it's not fast. You'll see Crimdahl is going to be doing a lot of skips. That's really good motion up there, going up the left side.
That was real cool. We're hoping to see the Sash along the way to the end game, but I don't think Crimdahl's going to search too hard for it.
No, he's definitely not going to look. I would be surprised if he even stops at the chests or the tablets on... If he does check the tablets on the way.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably looking for Sash just in case he misses the light wall skip. We'll probably end up seeing the light wall skip at this rate.
Mm-hmm.
It's looking more and more like Sash is buried in the pyramid somewhere.
Yeah, but it seems like Crimdahl is pretty skilled at using light wall, so I don't think there's going to be that much of a trouble for him. Yeah, not going for the secret one down there.
He's not even going to bother saving before the fight. He's going to absolutely clown on Genza here, punching him in the face. I know it looks like a her, but he's just evil and turns himself into goo and then reforms him in the image of the main character's mother. It's kind of a jerk
just to mess with her, really.
Yeah.
Gender fluid in the worst sense of the way, because he literally turns into fluid. Alright, back out and back in.
And here he goes. He's going to fight Voltarillis here.
Technically has more hit points than the other option, but is super weak. Oh god.
Yeah, no, yeah, he's already at 120-something HP. The fact that they had to go through the Zarian caves early and go that deep just leveled them up so early that you're already at such a high level. You're doing so much damage.
Time's broken now.
And he's going for the juggle. He does not have the setup for it.
No. The best way to do that juggle is to jump behind the guy's head when you unstop time. That way he should turn around and move towards you.
Oh,
no!
That is rough. He is not going to... Well, he will have a Chaos Rose. He's
But you gotta
Not
get
going to
that
go
sand
for it
back.
again.
We got
That's going to be rough. I mean, it's a bad location for a required item.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we will see a light wall skip, it looks like.
Crimdahl in the final area. These guys are immune to time stop just because fuck you. And so you just got a damage boost through all of them. Luckily, though, both of our runners wouldn't have much trouble with that because of the high levels from that early dip.
All right, here he goes again. Oh, he caught him in an attack cycle. He's not going to go up from there. Does he have...
Here comes
He's going
light
to get it.
walls.
And he's going to see the water mask.
Oh no! Oh no!
He missed the light wall skip!
Oh,
and he's going to exit and go back.
Honestly, yeah, that climb from the bottom is real slow.
But if you miss it a second time, then you have to start thinking.
Yeah. Because Crimdahl doesn't know that Satellite died early on.
Now, Crimdahl has no idea that he's comfortably in the lead.
But Sat did get the struggle juggle while we were exclaiming over that. We got the water mask, and now it looks like he's going for the second struggle juggle.
The much easier one.
Now here comes...
he's doing it. Yep, that's the strat you
there
want.
You
want
go.
to jump behind.
No!
Oh!
The glitch!
The glitch!
No!
Well, regardless, he has the glass pumpkin equipped, so it's a lot of sand.
And Crimdahl missed it again!
Crimdahl missed it again, and he's like, screw it! I'm doing the climb!
Equip the economizer ring, which makes your spells cost less. Man.
Solstice, I don't think he realizes that check was required, but he's got it with the amount of checks that he's already done. He's certainly got to be feeling like it is. So yeah, you saw what happens if you miss the light wall skip. Crimdahl had to cast light wall a bunch of times. I'm not convinced that's slower than just restarting and going back, honestly.
I think it depends on how good you are at climbing with light wall. Crimdahl makes it look easy.
Yeah, I mean, it's what the strategy behind climbing with the light wall is very similar to the strategy of climbing, of doing the light wall skip. You cast light wall just as you get that air jump in, and that air jump takes you to the top of the wall. It's just a lot harder to do it when you're also dashing to the side. And we have bombardment strats on the Sandman. Crimdahl should be making quick work of the first phase of the final boss here. Well, the
first phase, which also has 2 phases.
Yeah, you know what I meant.
First form.
The first form of the final boss. We will be seeing the true final boss here momentarily. All right, there's the sand that's going to go to you, and you're going to heal. Oh, just kidding. True final boss. And he's going to go Radiant Light Wall strats instead of bombardment. He is going to do Radiant Light Wall. Although he's doing the both. That is a good way to deal a lot of damage. Have those light walls sitting on Zarion's face while you use the highest damage spell in the game. He did not put the economizer ring on his bombardment setup, so he did have to go menu in
halfway there. There we go.
Ether, but that's it. That's a dot done for Crimdahl. 42-25.
Exclamation points in chat, please.
Exclamation points in chat.
42. That's a respectable seed.
It's a pretty good seed, honestly. It's another one of those seeds where it makes you do a bunch of really weird stuff in the beginning, and then it's go after that. As long as you do that struggle juggle to get the water mask, everything else was sort of just obvious.
Mm-hmm. Let's move over to satellite sound, so we don't just have whooshing noises.
The thing with early Zarion Cave is it eliminates the possibility that you have a late Zarion Cave. You already know that you don't have to go there because you already did it.
Sure. Now it's just till Satellite finds the stuff underwater.
Yup. And he's going to find it right now.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine... I can't imagine what it might feel like to take that death in Zarion Caves and realize that you didn't take a single save between then and when you died, between the start of the game and when you died. That's
It's
just
one of those
really rough.
once in a lifetime errors.
Yeah.
Because you're going to remember it every single time you play from now on. Hopefully Satellite will clear out the lower Lake Serene, because I believe there was both B and D down here.
No, B was in Hangar.
Right,
D was
so
down here, and Lightwall was down here.
Yeah. No, Lightwall was Varndegroth.
Oh, you're right. What else was there? Was something else that was down here.
Something else down here. Tablet? No.
Oh, the tablet. Yeah.
Maybe? There you go. Yarno got it.
Yeah, tablet and the D.
I don't think tablet was necessary, though.
No, it was not.
It's a good thing.
It might have the
sometimes.
sash. We don't. It might have had the sash.
Yeah, might have.
Since Satellite already knows that he lost this one, we might see a lot of checks that he wouldn't otherwise do if he was in go mode in a normal situation. So we might see the sash. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
And there's the D, and Satellite's like, I cannot believe that struggle juggle was required.
Yep. First seed, thanks to Bonsai Beer.
Yep. That's our glorious restreamer, Bonsai Beer. Also generated the seed and gate kept.
Mm-hmm. Bonsai Beer's been doing a lot of great work setting up all the behind-the-scenes stuff for this tournament. It's been real great. Even with the technical difficulties early on, fixed it, got it working, knows who to talk to. Doing great.
So why is Sat not using the library warp here?
He didn't get it.
He never got it?
It's not on the map.
Oh, boy.
Oof. It's one of those things you assume you already got.
Yup.
Oof. He probably got it after... Nope, he didn't.
Oh, he got it the first time, but then he died.
Yeah, that would have been it. Because he was just trying to run back and make up the lost time.
Yup. So Sat's going to go through the entire library and realize, well, the B card can't be in the hangar, can it?
It can't be. Or maybe it is.
Well, he's going to go through the whole tower first. Unless he's... I mean, there's no reason for him to gamble now.
Yeah, because he kind of has to.
Right, so he does have to go through the tower because he does not have the B card, but like the question is how much of it is he really going to check?
Mm-hmm.
He's checking this, which will give him the light, or and that'll give him the V card, and he'll probably backtrack to go check the V card at some point before going to the hangar. Basically, he's going to do all of the things that Crimdahl did because they're the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm. Just not one of those things that you can know. Is the nature of the randomizer.
Mm-hmm. I mean, in terms of routing, they had very similar, like, besides when you did fire and when you did towers, they had very, very similar routing.
Mm-hmm.
It was just the difference is that death, you know? I mean, he's not taking... Oh, because he didn't get this yet.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully does not skip Varndegroth.
That would be tragic. Unless Sash is in the lab.
Yeah.
Well, that would be really terrible because that would mean he would have to skip everything in the lab that requires Lightwall or Sash.
Yep. Well,
there he goes. Nope,
No.
He's doing Metal Gear Solid Room first.
Into the vents.
Into the vents. Internal monologue. What is your opinion on the Satellite internal monologue right now?
I was just thinking this is probably the decision I would have made too, because Varndegroth's only one check.
Right. Yeah. It's not a very efficient check.
Mm-hmm.
Now
and you have
it's
to find
probably
a boss
more efficient
for
than
it.
Spider Hell, which he's also going to pass up.
Oh no! Please don't skip Varndegroth.
Oh, he's getting this first. Yep. Okay. He's going
Okay.
back.
No.
And here comes Spider Hell.
I mean, they have Radiant, so it's
Yeah,
not that hard.
Yeah, it's that same thing. You have Shadow Seal, Radiant. You can two-shot each of these spiders. Does not take a very long time. Turns it into a more of a spider heck than a spider hell.
Please don't die, Sat.
He's fine.
I just had a flashback, so...
Hello, we
Hey!
are joined by Crimdahl.
Hello.
What a seed!
Yeah, that seed was something else, wasn't it?
Yeah, you got that Zerion start. You got that struggle juggle required. Just
There's
holy
light wall for Sat.
He just
No,
exits
Sat!
out of the light wall.
Sat, no!
Yeah, that was like
Oh,
a
he's just not
combination-
getting the light wall. Ooh, I hope
He's
Sash
just
is
choosing
somewhere.
not to get the light wall.
Ooh, that's a decision.
I wonder if he was just solely focused on B card and just wasn't thinking vertical. Oh, here is he gonna go back? Oh, okay, no. He was just you don't have the B card, you can't go that way, man. All right, well here he goes. Into the hangar.
SpeedGaming 2 has rated us. Welcome. We're just about done. So that early Zerion was real rough for both of you. But poor Satellite died in there.
And he hadn't saved since the beginning save of the game.
Oh no.
Yeah, and
it was the save right before boots. So he had to go to the library and then all the way back.
yeah, it's about it took about an extra over 10 minutes easily.
Man, that's rough.
Yeah, it was kind of like that kind of seed where we were like, they're both kind of making good decisions, but it's just an insurmountable mistake there that we were thinking, like, we were trying to calculate all the ways where this wasn't just GG, and when that struggle juggle was required and you got that water mask and then found D underwater, we were like, yeah, there's basically no chance at this point. But it's been fun watching Satellite finish out this seed. He's being a good sport about it. He's about to find his B card and maybe make the biggest mistake of his life in going to the lab without any vertical movement.
I can see into the future and know that he does.
I mean, we don't know. The Sash could be in the lab.
It could. There were quite a few checks you skipped over, Crimdahl, but I would have skipped over them too. You had go mode. Why would you check anything?
Right.
Yep.
So let's talk about the seed a little bit, Mike. First off, chat on several occasions was like, this movement is incredible, referring to your movement through the seed. So it was very smooth to watch, very good. You do stuff that not a lot of runners do, including that left side conveyor belt climb in the lab, which was very, very swaggy, very slick.
Well, thank you for the compliments. I really enjoy the smooth movement in this game. It's one of my favorite things about this game. There are a lot of good things about this game.
It turns out
Turns
it's a pretty
out.
good game. Satellite doing time stop tech to get up there.
I keep hoping to see that
If he gets that
sash.
sash in one of these checks, it's gonna be something. Oh, just short.
Not quite.
Yeah, he's gonna
Luckily,
go take a coffee break real quick.
Gets you lots of sand. It hurt both of us to see you miss light wall skip at the end there, though, twice. But you did make the climb look very beautiful and very smooth and on purpose.
In hindsight, I should have just done the climb to begin with. I got
Yeah,
up on
we
the
were
light.
discussing that. We were like, when you did the climb, we were like, I'm not 100% certain that that is slower than going back in to the start of the area.
Yeah, on the first light wall skip, I did catch the light wall, but then the game just decided to drop my dash input.
Oh, yeah.
That's what
probably saw that-
happened.
You
Yeah.
probably saw that moment when I tried to re-grab onto the light wall and just couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's tragic when that happens. Sometimes, just out of curiosity, what controller do you use?
PS4 controller.
PS4 controller? Yeah, I have an Xbox One controller that I use and sometimes the button doesn't cooperate.
Satellite checking out Spider Hill number 2.
And
not worth it.
Did not have Sash. Unfortunately, we are having some trouble with freezing streams, but
for the most part, we can follow along.
Yeah.
Luckily, the trackers are there, so we can know if anything important got picked up.
Yeah, it appears that Sash is buried in the pyramid.
I wonder if Sat's going to try and hope it's in pyramid. Because technically he can come to pyramid right now.
That is true. It could also be in Alana's bedroom.
No, Sat checked that.
He didn't have vertical at the time.
Oh, you mean above her?
Above? Yeah, above her.
Her bedroom is the one with the pink.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. It's
you mean the bust
above
room.
the Alana fight. It could also be there. That is a check that.
Yeah.
It was required to orphan. Just another example of how just interesting, to say the least, this seed is. Oh, Sat's doing wind orb strats on Genza. You gotta love it.
Yeah, you're not guaranteed to find all items in this randomizer, so it could be that the sash is up somewhere where you just can't get to. And in fact, it could just think, getting Lightwall from Varndegroth, that's how you get it.
Yeah, I mean, technically with Lightwall, everywhere is available. There is the opportunity for the sash to be in the tower that comes after the lab, and
ooh, that right side that you technically can struggle juggle might have sash.
Yeah, Satellite did not grab the lab warp.
Oh, Sat. It's one of those things you just don't think about.
Here he goes. He's going to fight Varney now.
Mm-hmm. I think it's just slipped his mind because he already knows that it's over. Getting that warp after lab.
Yeah, he might be making decisions thinking, well, I mean, if you finish like that, what are the odds that Varney actually was required? But he did see that light wall.
Yeah, going back for that is a good play, I think, because you got a bunch of checks available, such as fire checks, the towers, and a bunch of one-offs. May as well go for what you know.
Yeah, Sat actually did the fire checks, so that is already something that he has done.
The choices just didn't pay off to make up that lost time.
Yeah, I mean, that was his only real shot at this, making up that death with just a routing gamble. A lot of routing gambles.
Not as many as T-Base the other night.
Oh, T-Base's gamble fest was something to behold, especially when they kept paying off.
Yeah. Now we have Sat going up against Volturilis because he got
warning Ilana that Volturilis does not actually have a point, despite what Ilana's dialogue says.
You should go and talk to this queen on this other planet. She's real cool. Now we're going to be able to see if Sat manages to do Lightwall Skip. I don't think Sat has practiced it as much, but we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. I think technically he does know how to do it, and
knowing how to do it.
Knowing how to do it and actually executing it, like, you can academically be able to do the Lightwall Skip, but when it comes into practice... so yeah, Mike, sorry, I see your Mike Gerard on Discord. I should call you Crimdahl.
No, it's fine.
So Crimdahl, just in general, when you get those pyramid keys in Zarian Caves, relatively early in Zarian Caves, and then you find the spindle after the fact. Like, at what point, like, what does your mind say to you when you find those two basically required items almost back to back in the starting area in one of the worst areas of the game for low level?
Well, first of all, when I found the pyramid keys, I had a decision. I could either backtrack out of the caves or proceed forward. Considering everything will have respawned behind me, and that's really the most dangerous part of the cave, I figured it was a no-brainer to just keep going and see what was in there.
Right.
And I felt pretty good about it once I found the spindle.
Oh, he's going for it. Here he goes. Nailed it.
Almost done.
Got it.
There you go.
There's the light wall skip.
Showcase.
So yeah, that was funny you say that, because Satellite actually began to backtrack, and I think he realized what was waiting for him back where he came from, and then he was like, never mind, and he decided to follow through and found the spindle as well.
Yeah, nobody wants to go through that once, let alone twice.
Right. Those, I mean, especially climbing up with that one vine that is just above the pit that you fall down. Without time stop, it's really hard to get past that without taking damage. And at his level, he was taking 60 plus, I think, from that vine, and I don't think he had that HP to give. So yeah, bombardment strats, making quick work of Sandman. No Gin Inferno this seed.
So they're using the second best spell in the game.
Oh, and he actually got the full 8 hits on the bombardment. He's actually got really good spacing on this bombardment with Sandman. It's not the easiest thing in the world because the hitbox isn't obvious. But this is actually really, he's got another 7 hit from the bombardment there. That's really good.
There we go.
And this true final boss shouldn't take long for the same reason that it didn't take long for Crimdahl. I think both of them use light wall bombardment combination strats. So yep. That's basically going to be it. Should be finishing any second now. The one difference that was here is I think he has the economizer ring on his bombardment loadout.
It's hard to tell. Bombardment's a very cheap spell, surprisingly.
And there it is.
Let's get exclamation points in chat for Sat.
Exclamation points in chat, please.
Vamp a little bit till we can get Sat in, hopefully.
Yep.
Here he comes.
Here he comes.
That was a interesting seed. I'm really happy with all the variants we've had on all of these seeds so far in this tournament. Yeah. It's been really different every single time.
So one of the early knocks on when we all started practicing with these flags, one of the early knocks we had, and this was very early when we had first decided on the flags, was that the routing was just kind of samey for every single seed. But I think the more experience we got with these flags across all the runners, we saw a lot of different ideas for which checks you should do when, a lot of different routing divergences and a lot of different routing requirements have been found in these flags, which is really, really nice. We have been joined by Satellite.
Satellite, man, I'm so sorry. That start.
I had exactly one thought when I saw what I needed to do, and it was, why me?
Yeah, it's that kind of seed. First off, very good game to both of you. It was really rough to make up the lost time for that death, obviously. But you did a really good job for your execution for most of the rest of the seed. You nailed the light wall skip, so congratulations on that.
Let me tell you something. I've never tried it before.
You've never tried it before?
There you go.
That was your first attempt?
Yep.
Wow.
Dang.
Well, there you
Skills.
go.
But that seed, starting out with the required early Xarian caves, with both the pyramid keys, which we saw you hesitate on when you got those keys. You're like, do I go back?
I was like, yeah, it's too much work to go back through, so I'm going forward.
And then you got the spindle down there.
Yeah, I was like, okay, good thing I stayed.
And then the required struggle juggle. to get Water Mask, to get the D key card.
And the seed is just an all-time bad seed. And I hate it.
It was a pretty bad one, yeah.
Not my fault this time.
Nope, not Llama's fault.
This time.
But yeah, it was a pretty atrocious seed. Honestly, it was just really tough and really execution heavy. That death was quite brutal.
My only regret is not taking the save point before going in there. I should have. But all right. So.
Yeah, that was rough. And the required struggle juggle, and you leaving and being like, no, I'm gonna go back and do this. That was inspiring. I will say that.
Did the sash exist anywhere?
I have no idea.
No one found
It was
it.
probably in the tower after the lab. We call it Daddy's Tower because it's spoilers.
Yeah.
And we
it could have been there. It could have been above Ilana's fighting room.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's
it could have been in the pyramid.
Pyramid.
Was it underwater by any chance? Could have been there, and
it could have been in the underwater caves below the tower. It's true.
Mm-hmm. There's not many places you guys didn't check though, because looking for that B key card before going to the lab.
Yeah, I'm super curious. I'll probably have it.
You can generate the spoiler log. Yeah.
Let us know in the Discord where Sash was. I gotta know.
Very curious. Yeah, so well raced, both of you. It was kind of one of those seeds. And hopefully your next ones are better. Sat, obviously you know this, but just for the sake of chat, this is a double elimination seed, and both of these players will be playing again at 9:00. I believe. Let me see here on the schedule. I don't know. I know one of them does have a restream.
One's on 4. Mark vs. Crimdahl.
Yeah, Crimdahl and Mark Mingus is on SpeedGaming 4.
Yeah, and that'll be at 9:00.
Hupfin and T-Base on comms.
Should be a delight.
Mm-hmm. Any last thoughts on that seed?
Well, just thank you so much for commentating. I know you were both incredible, even though I haven't heard it yet.
It was a really fun seed to commentate. I will say that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to have no more thoughts on the seed.
Satellite will find a way to just delete the VOD on his channel, delete the VOD on SpeedGaming 6.
Don't think about it anymore.
Delete the VOD on Crimdahl's channel just to be sure.
It can't hurt you anymore.
No record of this shall exist.
All right, well, thank you so much, both of you, for racing. That was really fun. And we'll all see you in the next one.
Yeah, best of luck in the rest of the tournament. Thanks, SpeedGaming, for the restream, and Bonsai Beer specifically for the restream. Mm-hmm. This was kind of a last-second thing, and they were able to fit us in the schedule, and we're really, really grateful for that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much.
Indeed.
Take care, y'all.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.